better than ever. It's the all-new Sandy Kastel and Friends Show with Sandy Kastel, singer, songwriter, author, and founder of WEMA. She'll be talking with local and international performers, artists, singers, authors, celebrities, and more. Plus, exciting features like WEMA, Women and Men in Music and Arts, insights into Las Vegas real estate, and staying fit and fabulous forever. Now, let's bring on the host. Here is Sandy Kastel.
Hello, and welcome to the all-new Sandy Kastel and Friends show. It's so good to be here. I've been gone for a few months. How long has it been? Do you remember? 4 months. Gosh, I was talking to Irma back there. No, it's longer? How long was it? 5?
It's been since January.
No.
Yes.
Are you kidding?
I got video proof to
Really? Oh my gosh, it is a lot longer than I thought. I thought it was, that's amazing. What was I doing? How could I just not get up in the morning and come over here to the station and do the show? You know, I used to do, just for the guys that are sitting here today. As a matter of fact, these guys that are in the showroom with me today are from Sin City Opera. And I have Jack Gahn. He is the musical director for Sin City Opera. He has done a lot of amazing things. He's been the musical conductor for a lot of different shows, which we're going to learn a little bit more about later. And also I've got Skip Gala. It's like Kastel, like pastel, except with a K. What do you say when you tell people?
Gala, like gallon, like a gallon of milk.
See, we have these little tricks
Yes,
that
we
we
do.
say because we try to get people to pronounce our names correctly. And Jack, your name is Gahn, right?
It is.
It's-
I say like Gone with the
I
Wind.
was just going to say, I almost was going to say it. You beat me to it. Well, anyway, it's good to have you guys here. And we were just on the Sandy Kastel show on that's going to be on Cox this weekend, Friday nights at 10:30 and then Saturday morning at 10:30. But, Jack, you weren't there yesterday. We missed you.
It was great fun.
Was it?
Yeah,
I'm so
Rebecca
glad.
Morris was there, one of the
Oh,
cast
yes, I know
members.
her.
And I really wanted to, get her to sing a little song, but, she's very shy. But anyway.
Wait till you see her on stage.
Oh, I can't wait. And she did say she does have to wear makeup so she can look like the mother.
Yes.
So Jack, let's start with you. I was going to tell them a little something, but I forgot what it was already, so forget about it. We'll go dig right into here with the Sin City Opera. This is something that is really amazing that we've got going on here. There's been more and more opera coming to Las Vegas, and I'm excited about it because I have a nonprofit organization called WEMA, Women in Music and Arts. Mm-hmm. And a few years ago, one of the events we did was Opera and Art, which I brought opera singers, and then we also had a lot of artists that showed their art and sold their artwork. And the opera singers sang for us. And then we also had a jazz and opera event, which was nice. We had the jazz band playing, and then we had the opera singers singing.
The ultimate crossover. Right?
Yeah, really. And it is a great crossover.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you've got some of the opera singers that say, well, I want to do a jazz tune, and then they do a jazz tune. You're going, okay. So anyway, no, just like a jazz singer trying to do opera, right?
Absolutely.
No, I mean, there is a certain technique that is a little bit different. I know there are some singers that can do that. But enough about me. Let's talk about Sin City Opera.
Sin City Opera is a small, but I think highly professional company that's not for profit here in Las Vegas. Our goal is to update is probably the wrong word, but modernize and make more relevant the performance form, for lack of a better term for it, for opera. A lot of times you say opera to people and they get scared and they think, oh my God, where are the elephants and the camels and the who and the ha, and they're singing in a foreign language and all that sort of thing.
And we can't understand it.
And we can't understand it. So we try to do stories that are relevant. We do everything in English. We don't use tracks. Everything is live. We have a live orchestra. We have live
really?
singers.
Oh.
Everything is, there's no such thing as recorded music with Sin City Opera. And our ensemble is small. Our largest orchestra, I think, has been 9 or 10, but that's for a small company, that's huge.
That is.
And I don't think that you miss you miss the glory of a huge orchestra, but I don't think you miss any of the music.
Do they use a lot of synthesizers? Or
No.
No synthesizers?
No synthesizers.
Oh, so you're not like filling in that string sound with
No.
synthesizers.
If-
Do you have strings?
Sometimes we
Okay.
do. When we did Hansel and Gretel, we had a string quintet, which was nice. With this show, we don't use any strings because it's a little more acerbic and dramatic, so we don't need the strings. I mean, we could use them; it's orchestrated for them, but we're not using them in this production.
Well, when you do the recorded album, you can do. You can use
yes,
them.
yes.
If it gets that far.
When the angel in the sky gives us the $10 million to do the album,
I
we'll
know.
use the strings.
Yeah, speaking of that, we were having a conversation before we even got on air today, and we were just talking about the music industry as a whole and some of the challenges we've had. Now, as a not-for-profit, now you say not-for-profit.
Yes.
And even there is a misnomer about that a little bit, because it's not that you don't want to have any money at all, that you
Right.
don't have any money. You have money that is allocated for
Right.
certain things. Okay, so you have a budget.
What the
right.
difference is that we do not do what we do in order to make money. We have to make some money, but all of the money that comes in goes into the next production.
Right.
It's a very difficult, expensive kind of show to present. And in order to really do it that has some artistic value and doesn't look like a bunch of cardboard boxes on a street corner, it does take some funding. So,
Right, it does.
Our ticket prices are low. It's $15 per ticket.
That's amazing.
We pay the performers just a small stipend. They don't get a livable amount of money. It's more of an appreciative gesture than anything. But it all adds up after a while, so that, at $15 a ticket, at, 200 seats a performance, we don't make a lot of money. So we do depend on donations and people's kindness where that's concerned. And it does allow us to continue.
And if you'd like to call in right now, 702-483-4444, we will gladly take your donation. What, Skip?
I love it.
You looked at me and went, oh my
We
gosh.
need you on our team
So, Skip, you're sitting there so quietly.
for once.
For once. No, the thing of it is your part is artistic director.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how you take your role into, and what do you do with your role?
Well, as artistic director, I like to think that I make all the decisions. I don't know if the rest of the company would agree about that.
But you must make some decisions.
Well, I
yes.
do. I do a lot of the staging. I often am sitting in the role of director for the shows that we do. So between Jack, Ginger, and me, we take a look at the shows that we want to do. This year we have 2 different directors stepping in, so I'm only directing one of our 3 shows this year, which is a pretty exciting opportunity for me, because trying to direct and be artistic director is a little like being your own boss. And you can't really give 100% to both jobs. So this production of Minotti's The Console, where Grammy Award nominee Matthew Kirchner is our director, this has been a really fantastic opportunity for me to step back and do some of the production end of things and to do company development. Because Sin City Opera is going into our 6th year now, and we've really been as successful as we have been because we have people at the helm whose hearts are poured into this company. But even though we're stable and we're doing really well, it's just not enough for me. I want to be able to give singers closer to a livable wage. I want to be able to do productions of a more artistically sound value, and to do all of that, it takes a lot of work in the back scene. So that's currently where my efforts are focused, and I'm really loving that role a lot.
So now, how do you raise funds?
We have a couple of people who have donated, a chunk of money, not a great deal of money, but $400 or $500 to us is a big chunk of money.
Okay.
We have a fundraising event every now and then, which is specifically to raise funds for this, and then we have the income from the tickets at the door.
Okay, and how
So-
many productions do you do a year?
We do 3.
Three productions. So you were going to say something, Skip?
I was just going to add that in addition to the 3 main stage productions that we do every year, we're also constantly looking for opportunities to be involved in the community. So as a stable company, one of our goals is to have that constant community link, because otherwise I don't really feel like we can be successful in the city of Las Vegas as it develops and as its arts develop and that sense of community in the arts develops. So this year, for instance, we're singing next week at the Ethel M. Chocolate Factory Botanical Gardens and Cactus Lighting Ceremony.
Oh, that is a mouthful.
And I said it all wrong.
That's okay.
But we're performing in that to help them do the tree lighting ceremony, essentially,
Right.
the kickoff to the holiday season in my mind in the city of Las Vegas. So we're involved in that. We're doing,
We did opera in the movies just recently at the Charleston
Heights Arts Center.
Charleston Heights Arts Center. Yeah, that was
Oh.
through the city. It was a free concert, but we filled the house and everybody had a great time. And the city, it's part of the city arts program,
Right.
so they're including us in those kinds of events as well.
And for several years now, we've been involved in the opening ceremonies of the Boys and Girls Club, and we go up and we do their tree lighting and their Santa sleigh and all of those things. Stuff that we just think is really important to be connected to the community. In addition to that, many of the shows that we do are partnered with someone. Hansel and Gretel last spring, for instance, we took partnership with the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth and did Humperdinck's Hansel and Gretel, where Hansel and Gretel were two essentially homeless children living kind of out of a motel with modern-day Las Vegas parents.
Wow.
And then we used the funds that we raised from that show to support Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth.
Wow.
Now, what we like to think happens, and we have seen this come to fruition as we grow and change as a company, putting ourselves out there in this way is helping these funds to come full circle back to the company. And we find that when we're supporting our community, the community is going to support us.
Well, I think that is important, like you said, to get into the community, and I think that does happen. Sometimes we don't see it maybe the way we want to or as big as we want to, but the continuation of what you're doing and putting it out there. And I'll put this out there to you. Obviously, you said something about doing fundraisers. WEMA would be happy at some point to team up with you guys if you want to do a fundraiser, to help and team up and do one together. That way, because what WEMA is about is to help support the arts, artists of all ages, through education, mentoring, and scholarships. So I would, be honored to, team up with you guys and
That
do
would
an
be
event.
great.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be great. So it's we're going to take a little break, right? Do we have any commercials out there? Any great songs we can play for them? I've got music. I got my man. Oh wait, I think I did that wrong. We'll be right back with Sin City Opera. When I'm gone. Oh yeah. Don't tell me it's way too late. Don't tell me I'm past my prime. Well, don't tell me I don't fit the mold, 'cause you only waste my time. That's right. That's Don't Tell Me I Can't by that wonderful artist and recording and songwriter, Sandy Kastel. If I should say myself. No, it's funny. That song keeps coming up and coming up. I was just back in Washington, D.C. with the Women's Federation for World Peace.
Wow.
Okay? They are an NGO. Do you know what an NGO is? You were talking about being a nonprofit, right? Or not for profit.
Neutral gender organization.
Oh, that's good. What's funny is everybody comes up with a different name. But it actually, what it means is it's a nonprofit that is not regulated by the government. So. But they are a part of the United Nations. They're recognized by the United Nations. They go out, they meet with the United Nations. And then we were just back there. I was asked to go back there and sing a song, Don't Tell Me I Can't. That was the song they wanted to hear. And afterwards, some people came up to me. This girl came up to me and she said, I have a girlfriend and she's in a really abusive relationship and she really needs to hear that song. I said, "Oh my gosh, that's pretty powerful right there." And she went on to explain, she's been in this relationship, she can't get out of this relationship, and he's always putting her down, and he's telling her she can't do this, and she's not any good for that, and blah 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 blah. And then today I was talking to somebody. I pre-recorded one of our artists that we're going to have on next week is Epperson, and Brenda Epperson, and she's a singer, songwriter, and she also has an organization called Ascend. And she was talking about people that told her she couldn't do something and blah, 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 blah. I said, really? So it's interesting. Here we are, nonprofit organization, Sin City Opera. You guys have been here 6 years doing productions?
Yeah, this is season 6.
Right. So you're out there, you're doing something, you're bringing opera in a new light to the community. You're doing it in English so we can all understand it, right? Not every time. I'm sure some of the shows.
Every time.
Every
Every
time.
time?
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time.
So what if you have an opera that is in another language? You
We
translate
translate it.
Doesn't it
I am
end up
currently
sounding kind
translating
of-
our May show.
Oh, you are?
Yes. Yeah.
How exciting. See? So everybody can understand the opera because that has been something that people say.
Right.
And all right, so we were talking about fundraising. Very important. It's also very important for us to work together as a community in the arts to support each other. And Jack, I know you're chomping at the bit over there. You're
Well,
like, "Wanna say
I'll tell you.
something?"
I'll tell you a
wanna
little
say
bit. A
something.
little story about the arts in the community. When I lived in New York for a long time before we came out here in Las Vegas, and there again I was working with a small not-for-profit opera company, and we had a space, I'll call it, on the second floor of a building on West 48th Street, where we rehearsed and we performed and we did everything else. So on the top floor, on the third floor, was a karate studio, and on the first floor was a peep show. So we had to schedule
in
our
between.
rehearsals around the stomping on the floor above and the peep show in the theater below. And we managed to do it, and somehow. And one day when we were tearing down stuff off of the wall to put up some scenery in that second floor space, we found all of these stained glass windows around and found out that space was originally in the 20s a 10 cents a dance hall.
Oh
So
my
that's where we were
God.
performing.
Wow.
So there's a whole cross section of community activities in those three stories.
I
there.
guess.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the arts is we can really do it anywhere.
You can.
We really can. We can do it
Yes.
outside. We can do it on a big stage, and we can do it in a small 99 seat
Seater, yeah.
theater, and the Black Box Theater. And there's a couple of those around town, that have
Oh,
been
yeah.
doing some nice productions. So how did you decide or find a space to do your events? Your shows.
Well,
Speaking
You
of
wanna start with the
location.
99-seat theater?
Oh yeah. Well, our very first performance at Sin City Opera was at the Northwest Medical Careers Building in a conference room with overhead fluorescent lighting. And 9 people came, and 8 of them were related to us. And it was, but we had gotten together and decided that there's Opera Las Vegas in town, who is a fabulous group who's doing main stage productions. They're bringing in people from the Met and a conductor from the Met, and they have fabulous full orchestra. Everything's amazing, but there's kind of this underbelly that wasn't being served, and we decided that we were going to try to fill this niche and help to support opera arts in Las Vegas. So we didn't care. We did it in a conference room, whatever.
So now your audiences are a little larger.
A little.
They are a little larger.
We have 11 people now.
Well, you're going
No,
to Winchester Cultural Center.
Yes.
So that seats about what, 200 or is it 150?
290
290, almost
Oh,
300,
299. It's
clo-
almost 300.
close to 300,
I've
yeah.
performed over there. I just couldn't remember how many people.
Right.
They do a lot of great things over there.
Yeah.
A lot of great things.
I think they have a lot of different things you have to do in order to perform there, and I think that's changed throughout the years, right? And have they upgraded the theater over there too? I think. Did
I
do
think they
that
have put some
recently?
upgrades in, and we
Yeah.
have a technical director, James Zobrist, who's doing a wonderful job kind of looking at the technical aspects and seeing what we can do with them, because
Right.
like any theater group, we're limited by our environment, but we've come a long way, and the Winchester has been incredibly supportive of our company since we took residency there last year. And,
yeah.
It's been a really
It's a great
good
theater.
relationship.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, everybody should go out and support this, the Sin City Opera, because what they're doing is really fabulous. They're really, bringing us new productions. Tell me a little bit about the performers in your show, your cast members.
The performer, it's quite a gamut of ages and experience and sizes and everything else you can imagine. this Marcy Lay, who's the leading lady in the console, has quite a successful career in Europe before she came to Las Vegas, and she does a lot of work with Opera Las Vegas and sings all over the place. It's a magnificent voice. And we go from Marcy to, we have some very young folks that are coming right out of UNLV who could be professionals but are not yet, but will be, and they keep the quality of the work up. So it's a real melting pot of talent and experience with people, and we like that. We like to take.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing with our orchestra. We call it the Sin City Opera Orchestra, but it's a compilation of some of the players play in the Philharmonic. Some of them are right out of UNLV or some music school or private students somewhere, but people of very high ability. But they need to be with the older, experienced people in order to really learn how to be a professional.
And that is really a great opportunity because, my father's a musician. He plays saxophone, and he played in this town. We moved here in 1963 when he joined Harry James, and so I was fortunate enough to watch a lot of productions that he was playing for, and a lot of the legends of our time, and. For now, they're still playing. They still play in a big band. They have a rehearsal hall. It's called Jim Hemmings Rehearsal Studio. It's over in Henderson. I don't know if you've heard about it.
I have.
Yeah. And the thing that's nice about it is Jim built this place behind his house. And he just said, I'm building this place, and it's for the musicians to rehearse and have a place to rehearse for free. Now, they have a little jar. They put a couple bucks. They bring some drinks and things like that. And they have, I think they have over 6,000 charts and arrangements, and then the bands can go in there and pull these charts, and they just run them down one time. But also, there are a lot of people in town that have been using it as a rehearsal studio, for if they're doing a show. I know, not Lon Bronson, who's the guy? Well, anyway, a lot of different, if they're doing a production somewhere, they've come and used it in the afternoon and the evenings. But the point being that, what was the point? What was the point, Diana? Anyway, drum.
So something I did want to mention about what Jack had said, which I think is really an amazing aspect of Sin City Opera, because we have such a range of experiences on stage. We're opening the console on November 13th at the Winchester Cultural Center, so we're just a couple of weeks away here.
Yeah.
And it's really incredible to watch how even our experienced performers have grown and changed just from mentoring younger performers.
That was my point.
I knew it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because you've got these young players. Well, all right, going back to, my dad's 86. He just had a birthday. He's 86 years old. And you see guys that are up in their 90s that are still playing their horns. And then you've got kids that are coming in that they've had a couple guys out there that come from UNLV, or a couple of guys that are in maybe their 30s or 40s, all different ages, and now they're getting to play with the guys that played with the Frank Sinatras and and Ella Fitzgerald, that played back then. And these are great musicians that they're playing with that were in the house orchestras when we had house orchestras all those years ago. And these young people are getting to come in at different ages and perform with them. Of course, they have to be good enough to be able to do it. But what you're doing is you're giving these young performers a chance to play with experienced, seasoned players, and also the older players to see and watch and listen to some of these guys, because some of these kids, and girls and guys, are very, very talented. I mean, they play at the level that is, is ahead of what you expect sometimes.
And we want to make sure that part of our mission statement is to create a sustainable company. We want to be able to bolster the arts in such a way in Las Vegas that this is a destination city for people to come from out of town and audition with us, have a place to perform, have a place to call home, that we can take in resident singers. And currently, I mean, it's going to take a lot of collaboration and a good amount of time for all of that to happen, but we're not going anywhere.
And some money, folks.
And
if you want to call
money.
702-483-4444 and make your donation now, we will accept it. Right, Jack?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. And you can donate on our website at sincityopera.com.
There you go.
No offer turned away.
No, not at all.
Well, there's a lot of people out there that do support the arts, and we are talking to you out there sitting at home. you're going to be seeing this on YouTube, and it's going to also be on, where's it going to be? Vegas All Net Radio. It's going to be all over the place, all the time. You're going to be able to watch this show. The bottom line is, you need to support the arts. We need you to support the arts, because this is what nourishes our talented young kids that are growing up and maybe not getting as many opportunities as they had in the past, but maybe they're getting new opportunities. So it's up to our communities to support us, and we really do appreciate that. So, next time we have our fundraiser.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to go.
And it's not always all about the arts either when you're supporting the arts, because especially with the young kids, it's good brain
Morale.
fodder for them, because they're better at math, they're better at reading, they understand life in a different way, and they benefit from things like that, which are not really teachable, but they are relatable after they have the experience, allowing them to think a certain way, which is nice.
Okay, don't you find, and Skip, I'm sure you'll agree with this too, and I'm sure you've seen this in a lot of the performers, there is something about a student or a performer or an artist that when they are either on stage, when they're performing, when they're playing, when they're doing what it is that they're passionate about, there's a glow that comes from inside that you can't always get if you're working a day job that has no meaning for you. Now, I'm not saying there aren't people out there that have a glow about them when they're doing their work and it's a regular business kind of work. But when we're performers and artists, that is something. And if you're young and you're starting out, there's something about that feeling, and it makes you feel good about being alive.
Theater,
We're losing a lot of people out there. I'm sorry, I'm going to digress a little bit here about we've got Diane Fox is sitting here in the room with us. Hi, Diane. How you doing? And. We've got a lot of people that we're losing to suicides, and it's sad. And so we're out there, trying to, we raised some money. We raised enough money for 100 people that could get on the phones, to help people that call in about suicides. We're losing a lot of people because the society, we've got all this online stuff. We've got a lot of cyber bullying and all this stuff that's a lot different than, kids, we've always had bullying at some point in our lives, or we've had it around in existence forever, but it's gone to a different level with all this online stuff. And so there's less and less of this, one-on-one contact that we have with people, and they're finding studies that they're saying that there's something to do with their social skills that's different than what it was when we grew up. So music, the arts, there's something about this, something tangible, that you get, and when you're able to perform and play and sing and do that, there's something in here that we get that's a self-value, a self-worth, that is very valuable, important.
Yeah, it's a healthy way of developing self-expression without being aggressive or ugly with other people. It's from yourself and acceptable and accepting, that sort of thing. So.
Hey, it reminds me of a song that somebody wrote. It's about detours in their life. Do you have that song, Detour? You don't have my songs in there? What? You're fired. You got to be in there somewhere. You don't have all my music? Call John Lindquist. Where is he? Speaking of John was here today, and he did the John Lindquist. Has that one of those voices. It's and now here we are. He's the voice that you hear there on our commercials and stuff. And of course, John Stiles also, is one of the great voiceovers here that we have. Don't we have any music here?
Yeah, I got some stuff.
You got some stuff? Okay, great. Well, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back with the Sin City Opera guys right here. Jack Gahn, did I say it right? And Skip Gala.
Gala.
New Sandy Kastel and Friend Show. Now, here again, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to the Sandy Kastel and Friend Show. How are you? We're here with Skip Gala and with the Sin City Opera, and Jack had to go because they've got a rehearsal at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and he has to be there, right?
Yep.
But you're going to be there too afterwards, right? You're going to hang out a little bit longer with us.
I'm a little less essential.
A little less
Since I
essential?
don't
What do you
have to
mean? You are the
conduct or play the
artistic
piano.
director. Come on. I know, but you can't play the piano for them.
No, we don't want that.
It's nice having Jack on the show. He's really a wealth of information. Who's calling? What are you doing calling during the show? You Don't you know you can't do that? I'm not available right now. Sorry, I can't talk. Anyway, so this segment is sponsored by WEMA, Women in Music and Arts, empowering artists of all ages through education, mentoring, and scholarships. You know, you can find more about WEMA online at our website, which is wemafoundation.org, where you can make a donation and buy tickets for our upcoming events. And, you know, we have an event coming up, which is on November the 19th. It's with, I can't say that right. It is with the Women's Federation for World Peace. And we have a WEMA United Nations costume ball. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to be at the Old School Brewing Company, which is over on Desert Inn, over 8410 West Desert Inn, right near Durango. Have you been there yet, Skip?
Not there, no.
Do you like
have to
beer?
Check it out. Well,
well, if you don't like beer, you might like watching the brewing process.
I like watching people who drink beer.
The brewing. But we actually are going to do some tours there that night also. And we're excited about it because we're going to be raising money for the Schools of Africa project, which is they have 8 schools over in Africa, different cities, that they where they help and they bring education in. They help to educate and empower these students, and they teach them music and arts and education, you know, like regular stuff that they need to know. So we're going to be doing that on November 19th, and I hope you'll join us too.
Cool.
So, Skip, while I have you here for the last few minutes here before you have to skedaddle out of here, tell us what is your vision for the Sin City Opera? I know that you started 6 years ago. And I know it's probably changed and evolved a little bit. I know you talked a little bit about being more involved in the community, getting involved and doing some things like being part of all these Christmas lighting ceremonies that are going on around town. So what else would you like to see in the future for Sin City Opera?
Well, on a totally selfish note, gosh, I would love to have our own theater. That would be so fantastic, with a little cafe out front and a place that can be not just a place for audience members to come see shows, but also a place of social gathering. And so we would really like to have that one day, a place to really call our own. But ultimately, the goal of Sin City Opera and its sustainability plan is to create a place where performers can come. This season we have 2 performers who are coming in from out of town, one from New Jersey, one from Cincinnati, who are coming in to play roles with us. And we would really like that to be a possibility for people from anywhere. Except we don't want them just to come here and sing with us. We want them to move to Las Vegas and have a place where they can sing. Now, between all of the things happening at the Smith Center and the work that Opera Las Vegas is doing, and we have some really amazing straight theater groups in town as well. And we try to
Yes, we do.
We try to employ any of those people we can in contexts of needing actors or needing dancers. We've worked with the Pink Tutu Ballet Company, and we've worked with some people from Chaos Theater and Poor Richard's Players, and I'm hoping, since I just saw a fabulous show by them, to work with a Public Fit, who is kind of a new rising up theater company in town who's doing great work right now at their space. So we try to create those relationships because opera is theater with amazing, very specific singing. And we want to create a forum for communication with our community about issues that are relevant and current for people, because we can do a production of, Figaro or something and put it in the 1600s, but I don't know. I get a little sleepy in the middle of it. And I love opera.
Well, but this is what makes you different than the other opera companies, right?
This is why we call ourselves a contemporary opera company.
That's right.
We bend the rules, we break the rules, we do everything in English. We're only charging $15 a ticket.
Yeah.
And those sorts of things, I hope, are making us as accessible as we think they are. We're opening the Console on November 13th for 2 weekends, and it's the first of our 3 shows for the season. So we have that, which is a brilliant story about a family struggle after World War II. And some other crazy things that are happening in Berlin with a fantastic cast. And then we have a steampunk version of a Mozart piece coming up in February.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
I like steampunk stuff.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
It's really interesting. So, all right, so you are different, you're unique, and you're doing what you guys love to do, but you want to bring more awareness of it. to the community. And are you open to original productions?
Oh,
I mean, do you
absolutely.
have people submitting things to you, shows to you?
You know, we've had a couple of submissions up to this point, and it hasn't really been the right fit yet. And Jack and I are secretly working on a couple of different ideas for things that I hope will come in the 16-17 season, maybe 17-18 season.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I believe that theaters have to do original work. Otherwise, I don't really know why we're here. We should be a place where people can submit something, and at least in Fringe Festival would be a great place for us to pull some of those things out. And I hope we have more opportunity in the future to do that. I have about 1 million ideas in my head of stuff that just has to be written right now. I'm working on that.
We've got, now we have stuff from their website. Your website is sincityopera.com.
Yes, it is, sincityopera.com. And you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sincityopera.
Right. Now, on your website, are you sharing, what are you putting on there? Because right now you don't have the music yet for this production because you guys are just doing it right
Correct. We have obviously a lot of photography from the shows that is going on, and we have all the information about upcoming work, and then some contact information, some links to donate if people are interested in donating. We're always looking for supporters of the arts, and if you can donate $10 or $10 million, you're invited to come to our website to do that. But essentially, we want to continue to build our website out so that it's a place where we can increase that communication.
Okay,
with
well,
everybody.
you have to be doing all the social media stuff, you
Oh
you got to
my
be doing the
gosh.
Pinterest and all this,
No. I know, and some of it, I've never felt so old as when social media became popular. Someone's like, oh, I think you should, what is it, twerk me, tweet me, I don't know.
Yeah, and the periscoping and all that. Oh my gosh,
some of it.
there's
I'm
too
just
many things
barely
now.
hanging on to some of
Right.
it. Yeah, we need to hire a 15-year-old, essentially, is what we should be doing.
A lot of 15-year-olds, right? Get them out there and get them in the show.
Stick them in a room, give them some soda, tell them to bang out some good work.
So what advice would you give to somebody that wants to get into one of your shows or wants to get out there and perform and do opera?
My biggest advice would be whatever your talents are, whatever your skills are, you have no idea what we're looking for. So come to us and express your interest. There's nothing more valuable than commitment and interest at this point for a company like ours.
Do you have auditions throughout the year, or just when you're doing? Is there a certain time of year that you do them for the productions?
Currently, we have one large audition that occurs in the summer, and we're very flexible about the way the audition goes. Of course, it's best if you show up and you meet us, but there are a lot of people who are not available during that time, or they live out of town, so we do accept digital submissions for that as well. But even through the year, things happen, people break stuff, people get jobs, people move, so we have openings and a lot of flexible movement that happens throughout the year. So if people just come to us and express a need for something, come and say, hey, I'm a puppeteer, I have no idea what you're doing, but I want to do something with you.
Rebecca said something the other day. She said that you don't charge for auditions, and
Right.
I had never heard that anybody was charging for auditions.
In the world of opera, it is
Yeah.
unfortunately not unusual to pay $50 or even $100 just
audition?
not to audition, just to apply, and then hope you get an audition spot.
I never see. I don't know. In the kind of auditions I went to, we didn't have to do that. We just went to the audition, cattle calls.
Yeah. And now it's a changing world, and we're very fortunate. I feel very blessed at Sin City Opera that we don't have to go that route at this point. And we love our singers, and we're trying to offer them, first and foremost, a safe place for them to stretch their artistic legs, to take some chances that they may not be able to take in other places. And I don't want to charge them to do that.
Yeah.
We're paying them something that's not nearly commensurate to the skill and talent that they're bringing to the stage anyhow.
Right.
So.
Well, it's good to have you on the show.
It's
I know
so good to
you've
be
got to
here.
go to rehearsal.
I do.
And, so I'm going to have to get Diane up here to join me, I guess, for the last 15 minutes of the show.
Excellent.
She's sitting there looking at me kind of funny. So thank you for coming out on the show again.
Oh,
It's
thank
good
you
to
so
see
much.
you. Skip Gala with the Sin City Opera, and we had Jack Gone earlier. And, we'll be talking soon, and I'm going to come out and see the production.
Can't wait to see you
And
there.
we'll have to get together. So we're going to take a brief pause, and we'll be right back. We've got some great music for you to listen to and some wonderful ads.
All all-new Sandy Kastel and Friend Show continues. Here again, Sandy Kastel.
Thank you, John Lindquist. I love his voice.
I know.
And now.
Awesome.
It's
I
got
can't
a great
do that,
voice.
though.
You know, this segment is brought to you by Signature Real Estate Group. Yes, for all of your real estate needs. If you want to sell your home or list your home, just call Sandy Kastel at 702-348-5707. Who is that girl anyway?
Let her help you find your dream home.
Really. And that other voice here with me is Diane Fox. And Diane Fox is the queen of the Ladies of On Pit Road Racing. And we have a show on Saturday afternoons at 4 p.m. The girls invited me to join them about 4 months ago?
4 or 5 months ago,
I
yes.
know.
And we're thrilled.
And I'm having so much fun. We
Yeah.
were out at the NHR drag races this past Saturday.
Yes, was that not amazing?
Oh my gosh, yes. Tell them a little bit about.
Oh my
what
gosh,
we
we
did.
got to watch the pro stocks, the bikes, the funny cars, the Top Fuel. We got to meet a lot of drivers. We didn't get a chance to talk with Erica Andrew Stevens, but she did win the championship.
She won the championship. I know.
She
and
was
she's been
just-
on the show before.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was just so busy Saturday doing what she needed to do. We did get to talk with, what was his name?
Larry Morgan.
Larry Morgan, but who's the other one? Richie Crampton.
Oh yeah.
You missed that one.
That was
he was
before
an
I got
Aussie.
there.
He's an Aussie.
Well, was that on the girl show?
That was on the guy show, yeah.
Right.
But then we got to speak with Larry Morgan, and
Oh
is
my
that man
gosh.
not just awesome?
He's adorable.
He is adorable. He's just
A very humble guy.
yes.
John, you hadn't met him before, had you met Larry Morgan before? Anyway, John Stiles is behind the camera. Hi, John. Also one of the owners of Vegas All Net Radio. Anyway, Larry and Morgan and I had met him years ago when I first was got introduced to NHRA drag racing.
Yes.
And it was nice that he remembered me, and we had so many things to talk about. But the biggest thing I noticed about him is how humble he was.
Oh gosh! And did you notice how many times he said, "I feel so blessed"?
He did.
I mean, you could, yeah.
He said, I'm lucky. I'm so lucky because
Yes.
I got the opportunity to do what I love. And he goes, I'll be doing it forever.
Right.
You know, he said, and he even said that he went and did another race for one of his friends,
yes.
one of his buddies and stuff. And that's not typical. You know, when you're in the pro category, you usually don't go out and do
another stuff,
anything
yeah.
for anybody else. But that was a rare thing. But also he and David Rampy, have a long
Yeah.
history. And he couldn't talk enough about how David Rampy was a great driver and everything.
He was
But
awesome.
Diane, I know we only have a few minutes here, but just share with our audience a little bit about why you feel like these shows are so important that you're putting out there, with the Ladies of On Pit Road Racing.
The Ladies of On Pit Road Racing, we shift the culture. We shift the racing culture around women's lives because a lot of people think it's a man's sport. Mm-hmm. Well, look. Erica Ender Stevens.
Yeah.
Danica Patrick.
Yeah.
Pippa Mann. Now, I can go on and on and on. Young girls are coming up, and they're becoming racers. And the more we get out, the more they're going to do.
And one of the common themes that I've heard from a lot of the girl racers is not so much that they picked on too much. They were picked on a little bit at the beginning, but they really said that, they go out and prove themselves, and the guys, are like, they respect them.
Yeah. I think the society is kind of calming down when it comes to only a man can do it,
But not but not only the drivers. You're actually reaching out to the ladies out there that
Yes.
are watching the races. And there's a lot of the wives and the daughters and the families that are along with their drivers that are husbands or their sons
and they don't get any recognition.
That's right.
And they do a lot.
They do.
Alicia Cope, Derek Cope's wife, is one of the most awesome NASCAR wives I've ever met. She multitasks for that team.
And we have a ton of women that actually watch the races.
Oh gosh, ton of them.
Yeah.
Ton. I mean,
so see, it's
the
not
female fan.
We think of it as a male-dominated sport, but it's got so many women involved.
And
in
you know
it
what?
that
The women buy
it's
the
real
swag.
important. That's right.
Who's out there buying that swag?
Yeah,
it's
the
the women.
Yeah.
So women in racing. I mean, it's moving up there. Racing is $1 billion sport,
and
we're going to help make it. trillion dollars.
Yeah, and also we've got the Sprint Cup girls. You know,
Oh yeah, Juliana and Madison, love them. We've had we started out 4 years ago with the Sprint Cup, and there was like 3 of them. Then one left, and another would come, and
Yeah.
So we've gone through quite a few
And
Sprint
let's
Cup
not
girls.
forget Janie
Root.
Root.
Oh my
She's the
gosh.
elder of the threesome.
She's an amazing woman. She does a lot of community service.
And her
so-
son is involved in the racing.
Racing.
Her husband was involved.
Oh, they're all racers.
They're all
yeah.
racers, right.
Yeah, me and you are the only ones that don't race.
So,
We
Diane
do.
Fox, the ladies of On Pit Road Racing on Saturdays at 4 p.m. You can check us all out there. And you can also check out the all new Sandy Kastel and Friends
Yes.
show. We're going to have some exciting guests each week, and we're glad that you're here to watch us and listen to us and tune in at Tuesdays at 5 o'clock to 6 p.m. What are you trying to signal to me? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah, my TV show.
Yes.
My TV show, The Sandy Kastel Show, which you can watch Friday nights at 10:30 p.m. and also Saturday mornings at 10:30 a.m. So check it all out. You can watch us on Vegas Video Network, Vegas All Net Radio, and on YouTube and on sandycastel.com. So check
Look,
us out. We're everywhere.
It's counting
Thank
down.
you, Diane. It's
You're
great
welcome.
to be with you
Thank
guys.
you.
See
Glad
you
to have
next
you
week.
back.
Bye.